Okay. This music is fucking loud. It's so loud. Why is it so loud?
You know what?
Yeah, let's set this to 50. Okay, yeah. Alright. Stream will be playing Stanley Fireball Ultra Deluxe. I haven't played the original one. I hope I will soon, but for now we'll be playing the other one first. So let's begin, I guess. I don't know the lore for Stanley Parable all throughout, I guess. Oh my god, Hades, I hate you. This one. Morning, this one. We start here.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Hi.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ugh, the hiccups, holy shit. You know what? Give me a second. Okay. I missed the memo. What the fuck should I do? Oh, I can turn that shit off. I guess I'm turning it off. I don't know what to do.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Like, fuck you.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I don't wanna admire it. I wanna go to I wanna be unique. Can I go?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it.
What?
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
She's so baby
Now
girl.
listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
What if I walk through the blue door, Stanley?
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
I want to go to the blue
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Can I go here? Ooh, blue door. Right behind me.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see?
Ooh.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Yeah, I wanted to see.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okay. You kind of missing something. You can like read this office space. Okay, damn dirty.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
You want some real critical feedback?
Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term.
I didn't.
It didn't cause you excruciating pain. Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Okay. And I go, oh shit, fuck you. Ah! So you kept, oh fucking god. Like, what the fuck? This guy, he made me stuck. Come on, please, narrator. I can't get out. How the fuck do I get out? Yo, can I please, please, I'm sorry. I'll go to the right door. I mean, I go to the left door. Just please let me out. Let me out. Let me out there, please. Oh, you know what? Begin the game again. Why was I stuck? Was that supposed to happen? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, stand there.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I recommend some content to watch. Voice search. The right button while speaking.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Space between size of demographic, teenagers. Happy feelings. Violet James, you're fired. Laugh about things. We have our new product. Everyone is unique, most of them. Whoa!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
What if I stayed here? No, yeah, okay, I don't know what I will.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Oh, what the fuck is happening?
I am okay.
Oh, I am not.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake
Jesus
me up. My name
Christ.
is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What was that?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
Why is
I know what
everyone
is
doing
real
like...
and what isn't. It was comforting to
Affirmations
think
right
this,
now.
and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well, she isn't learning, so I don't know. Was that one of the endings where I'm just like, oh yeah, that is one of the endings.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Okay, anyways.
When Stanley came to
No.
a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No.
Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Where?
from here, it's, left.
Oh, trust. Okay, yeah, let's go.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Yeah, what were
It's
you
clearly...
thinking?
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Yeah, okay. Whoa, whoa.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track,
Oh, look at that,
okay.
he's fired.
From the top.
He just restarted the game by himself. I see.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No.
When
Who's
Stanley...
Stanley?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game
You're
over, completely
sure?
fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
Ooh.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No.
Did you move the story somewhere or...
No.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
Is it?
Okay, then. It's an adventure.
What?
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Oh no, you're making me choose. Oh, well, I guess we're in the Oh, huh? Oh, okay. Well, what if we go to the left door?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No, you don't.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Well, we're starting the game again. gonna change the door now.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What
What could it mean? Stanley
Stanley
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Yeah, let's go back. Oh, sorry.
On the way back, purple chili by the roadside. It's edible, but more often, it's just planted for eating.
Wait. I'm in now.
More inside of the back, the immigration office to find out more about the cheese.
Kahit daw sila ng kuyot din. Kahit kasi ito lang. Kahit sila. Try sila ng kuyot din.
Turn that shit
Kaya
off.
nag-encourage siya. Kaya
May turn it off first. Off the chips.
It turns out that when he entered the Philippines, he got a little stamp in his passport. It indicated the date of the
Aha!
visa renewal.
I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
Oh, damn, the
No,
way.
wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay, trace our steps. What the? Okay, then I think. Whoa! Wow.
Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Yippee!
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay. Oh, we're starting again. Oh.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Yay!
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Oh. Well, we're going the wrong ways, narrator.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely.
Yes,
and
I am
remember it
studying
carefully.
very closely.
You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. Alright. Yes. Let's go.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Started. Okay, let's go back to the Stanley Parable now.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What door is that? 437. Alright, let's go.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Ooh.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and it should be fine.
I mean, oh, well, he's coming up, so we don't have to worry about it, I guess.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay. So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Been playing the confusion
Hold
ending.
up, what's this?
17 minutes.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending?
Dude,
And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game.
Restart the game.
Do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Eventually,
Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh no, the game restarted by itself. Fuck, no. Later. What the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It restarted. That was one of the endings, I'm guessing.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this.
What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh. Okay. I'm guessing we're going here. Oh, well, it's not doing anything again. Well, alright. Let me change my model real quick.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Let me make myself a little. Okay, there we go.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Walk in.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
We were up there before.
In the evening,
Okay.
make jam from bananas and then over the gas.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Wow.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where's my monkey?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Mind controls idle awaiting input. Okay.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, so that's the original ending, I'm guessing. We got the original ending. So we had two endings, I believe. It's the confusion and the what the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I said, let's go there.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, but if I walk, oh shit, that would take me to the.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy...
Wait, I'm just gonna take a piss real quick. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Let me restart the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
welcome
memo.
back. Let's go to the
When
lab.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
We have achieved 2 endings now. We have achieved.
Stanley was so bad at following directions,
confusion
it's incredible he
ending
wasn't
and
5
the,
years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
The actual ending.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
I wasn't
Good
supposed
job,
to do
Stanley.
that.
Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I guess I achieved also that ending.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Oh, it's a... Oh, that's not an ending. It's a different...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. Giddy in a way, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm gonna walk to the
Oh,
red.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The 2 of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
This sounds like...
And I think I have a solution.
What's your
Here,
solution?
let me show you.
What? That is not your solution, bitch. This... Well...
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Okay, anyways.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Oh,
no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh, you know this ending. Oh,
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
No, I don't want to, but I want it for the ending.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
No!
Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
I'm sorry.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
I can't. This voice, bro. The way that he says it hurts me.
My God, is this really how much you dislike
No,
my game?
I don't.
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
His voice. Oh no, I don't want to do this. You know what? Yeah, I'll just end this. I'm ending it, bro.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Oh man, oh bro. Oh man. The way he sounded so happy in the previous room, and now it's like I'm doing this, so it hurts me, bro.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
He doesn't want to go back. You know what? Fuck.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
My Chrysler, hello. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Was good.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Was good.
The lounge was grand, majestic. Perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm just playing a game that has emotional.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy,
Can I get
really,
a
I'm not.
fuck? I don't know if
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
How is you?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
No.
Someone you've forgotten about. Please,
Come on.
stop trying. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yes, I have
Are you
zero
that
consideration.
convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
The way he
Give me a
says it.
chance.
Holy shit. Anyways.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Are you done talking? Okay. From Kinsey's stream. Hello. Oh, thank you so much. Yee! Okay. Hello, Azzy. Oh, Azzy Michael. Hi. Hello, Kinsey. Hello, Spinner. Hi. Toto. Hello, Toto. Hi, Yagi. Oh, thank you so much for the gifted, Yagi. Thank you. How's everyone doing? How was your stream earlier, Kinsey? Should we go? Did I go to the right door?
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
Oh no.
Do you see that I really
Susie?
have wanted you to be
No.
happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always
the fuck
trying to
is
get
that?
somewhere that
This is-
isn't
I don't
here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
Okay, I wanna do the same.
We would both be
ending,
so
'cause
much
we
happier
did the ending
if we
earlier.
just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Fuck you. Okay, let's go here first. We'll do the jumping again. Holy shit! You should have heard.
do we
the
want?
narrator
What are we
say-
looking for?
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Oh, no. I don't want to do it again, please. Ah, it hurts, but I have to do
No,
this.
wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Okay.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment.
Oh.
Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Okay, fine. Let's go back. Oh, but it walks so slow though.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
What if I go back? Can I go back?
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Arami, hello. Wait, is my audio okay? Is my audio good? Hold on. Oh no. I'm not too sure. I haven't checked my audio for like really long time. Hi. My audio is good? Alright. Let's jump one.
No. No. What are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Oh no. Be better. Just kidding.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Okay. Okay.
Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
What if I just stop? Let's do it one last time. Because he has 3 times. You have to jump 3 times before you know.
No, perhaps not.
You walk really slow when you do this. Oh my god, yeah. So fucking
My
slow.
God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Bro, the voice actor really does it so well, bro.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get it. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
You know what it is, I guess. What is this?
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
You know what? Let's make it possible. What if we just stop? Chat doing? Hi. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing good. Hope I just joined. Loop, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. I hope I just joined. Hi. Welcome. It's the first time chatting here. How did you find? How everyone? How did you find me now? Hmm? Do we just go back and kill ourselves now? In game, okay, in game. Do I just go back and kill ourselves in game now? I think it's not doing anything because just to fuck them up. Just end it. It's not even speaking anymore. Okay. Let's go. Am I supposed to laugh or cry? I don't even know myself. Or I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I cried earlier because the way you said shit, it's so sad, even though it's just a narrator. Okay, let's jump.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Oh, he's trying to say, do not kill yourself.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
The
here.
lounge.
I'm not
yes.
your enemy, really. I'm
Very
not.
nice lounge.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Oh, I've forgotten.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
About what?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I'm not bitchless. I am a bitch. Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Whoa. Narrator. Hello? Moshi-moshi?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
The game made me gay for some reason.
Okay,
Same.
there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What if I don't go? What if I'm pissed off?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Why am I dead now? I'm not dead yet. Good morning. Zero.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Good time with the
he went
boys,
further.
yeah.
He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Why do I suddenly have kids? Those stories.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Just way to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
Yeah.
That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Totally real
But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
What if I don't actually? What if I actually don't? We'll just wait for it. It is. I don't fucking know what time is it already.
You see? Can he just not hear me?
We're just
How
back
can
at
I
the
tell him
beginning.
in a way that he'll understand that
Yes.
every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley.
I don't want to play Rec
We're not so
Room.
different,
I
I
don't want to deal
suppose.
with children there.
I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Well, this is an indication that I just killed myself, actually. In game.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Oh.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh. New content. What the? Oh, would I? There's a lot of paper/scripts here.
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the
Probably
world of the
unfortunately
Stanley
don't
Parable,
know.
delighting audiences the world over. Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Okay. Can't wait.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Alright.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
I'll give you the content, yeah.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
What if I actually just run that way? Ah. Okay. Let's move on.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
As a per person, I played the Roblox
I knew there
version.
had to be
There's a
something
Roblox
else.
version of
Let's
this
see it.
game.
I'm ready for
I should
whatever
have
it is.
known. Yeah. That's the new.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally
he's
accountable.
canceling them on Twitter.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Okay, let's restart the fucking game then. Again. Oh. At the office.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Yeah, what are you going to Oh no, I'm sussy. I'm sus. He's an imposter. Oh no. Oh shit. He's so saucy.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just
Wow.
our little secret. Take a look. I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful
fucking-
Stanley Parable was
sound
before it was
effect.
sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Oh, the pictures there. But then it turned into a Dark Souls game. I just don't know when. Smile because it happened. A trip down memory. Wow, the first ever $1. Oh, the demonstration. Unachievable. It's a possible failure. Don't play for 5 years. Okay.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley?
Stop
Every
laughing.
game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Where did you read that? And my storage is full, that's why I can't reinstall this. We're not really sure. How do you review a game like the Stanley Parable? The great I'm too lazy to read that shit. Let me up.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Source of DK. Okay. Sleep tight. Benor. Thank you so much for lurking. Now where was I supposed to go? This is the serious
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Whoa.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years.
You
I can't
recognize
even
the
imagine
ending?
what's
Oh,
been
no.
collecting down here.
You
Surely these
reviews.
reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny
with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh my god, the amount of Steam reviews. What was unfunny in such strong fucking accent.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
Were these reviews actually
I
was
feel
in the other game?
like
I
a
haven't
failure.
look, I didn't
Like I
watch
let these
Stanley
people
Parable
down.
for a long time.
Perhaps the
I
Stanley
never watched
Parable
Stanley
isn't
Parable,
quite
to
as
be
sterling
honest.
as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I do
Wait, I
anything
think I
for the
recognize
customer,
this
Stanley.
ending as
yes,
well.
a skip button we shall have.
Oh no, I know this ending. Oh, this is gonna be painful again.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot.
I
I'll
thought the
pop you
other one
forward in
was
time so that the
painful.
second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or...
Shut the fuck
Okay,
up.
welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks? I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing?
And
Me
then I wish
just
there was a
talking?
reverse
But it
button,
isn't,
bro. It
Stanley.
hurts.
It
me.
isn't the same at all. It
It's-
isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley.
You
Not the
needed
outcomes, not the
me.
story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time. But if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us. And I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness.
Where am I?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly...
Bye. Where is something? I hear something outside. That's definitely for sure. Okay, let's skip one more time. What the fuck? Okay.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of
Now
cohesion
he
in
doesn't
one's
even
assessment
notice
of
that we're
others.
here
But of
now,
course,
but
absolutely anyone can
he's
leave a
just
review.
mad.
So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulge?
Done again.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Yes, he does.
Is never the end, is never.
So he just keeps going because, you know, just thinks that no one is listening to him now because we keep fucking skipping the button. If only I had the undo button, now everything's leaking inside. What if we skipped again? Wait. Oh. Oh, it's broken. Yeah. He's dead. Yeah. Maybe? We should skip them. Wow. Oh, fuck. What happened though? That is actually scary. What the fuck? Let me skip, please. We can't skip now. Oh. Damn, alright. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Alright. Wait, can I pause? Okay. Shit, I need to piss so bad. Alright, let's go. I'll be back. Give me a second. I'll be back. Welcome back. Okay. Yeah. Shit, my back hurts so much. Bye.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
My favorite one, I see it.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Old and
Ultra
busted.
Deluxe? What does it
Old
even
plus-
mean?
old
But the
plus
Stanley
plus
Parable
old
2,
plus
now
rusted,
that's an
busted.
artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
That's so... Thanks for attending my meeting, that's cute. It's the burn.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New features. Okay. Wow, they have a bus for new content. Alright. Oh!
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh, we'll try this one. Your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh shit.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this
Jim
feature.
Ragnarsson.
Just
Let's
play
go.
along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking
My name
as
is Jim.
falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I'm Jim.
Jim.
Oh hi.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button
That's me.
described you. Do it again, do it again.
I'll do it again. Come on.
Oh,
Wow.
it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Alright.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Bye-bye. Jam? Oh my god. Can I click these buttons? Oh, I can't, sorry. Well, it's interesting. It's a good button.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable too. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
This.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday. Happy 12th birthday. Stepnies. That is so specific. Oh, you know what? I'll pick this one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
I said that. Oops. 12th birthday Stepnies, but sure. Alright. Oh. What?
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
But move. Oh. Jump circle. Free achievement. Wow. I want a free achievement though. Well, let's go to the bucket then. Only parablers reassurance bucket. I need reassurance right now.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's
I don't
true.
find the bucket.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Damn, I have
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
For real.
All this and more
For real.
await you in the Stanley Parable too.
Okay. Now I have the bucket and
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
consistent quality with just right amount of change. New features, new content, new ideas. The updated ray trace more of the same, but in a good way to spoil to the blame. That is a new orange. I haven't tried the baby, by the way, so yeah, I don't know what the fucking. Roll your office, please no screenshot. What if I screenshot it actually? What if I actually screenshot it? Nice screenshot or not? Anyways.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. Infinite hole free achievement. Here in new and plus easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. It just works. Get it here. Totally okay.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
It just doesn't work. Okay, fuck you then. We'll go back. No free achievement, Sage.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
This one. Can you find them and you collect them? Oh, fuck, it's collectibles.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh, jeez. Right. Yay!
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Oh, I don't want to exit yet. You so awesome for reaching the trip. Oh, thank you.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Okay. Let's try the infinite hole later. What's this again? Setting world champions. Okay. I read it at Sesta criteria. Okay, I guess we're going to go to the infinite hole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right, infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
I'll just...
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of
yeah, I know what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna fall into the ground soon, so it's fine.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the
Now
problem.
you're calling me the problem? Oh my god.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled.
No.
I really, gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
People.
Is the teleport button not working?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out.
No.
Goodbye, Stanley.
Stan.
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
Wow.
Take care, Stanley.
No.
I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
He's going out. Whoa. Someone the demon, bro. I'm already the demon, bro. Well, goodbye, narrator. Guess I never will be needing you ever again. Up there, I'm going to go down. This fucking. No, please. Oh. Whoa. It's down. The string. What? Oh.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley?
What?
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment.
Oh, okay.
So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Who's the poodle people? Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Oh, we're back in Stanley 2 now.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Alright. What if we exited? I think we've explored all of it. Epilogue. No. We haven't did the merch yet. Is that QR thing is real? Let me actually check. Can I get this one? Right here? Nice. And that bitch right here. Oh shit, actually it does a thing. Welcome to the official site of Stanley Parable 2, a sequel, huh? Sure stuff. What's new? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Must save that file from the thing before later. We'll continue yeah, good. Or we go there. I haven't checked there. We can check there. Oh no, we were from there, but then alright. Okay, I mean Stanley Parable 2 was fun, but I guess we're gonna go now.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready. I'm going up here. Huh? Oh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, I guess we're taking the... Wow. Wow. Alright. I see. He's cooking. This is actually as good. What the fuck?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yay! Nope.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What if I did... What if he actually did left?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
And the bucket. Hello.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh, collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. Go down.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
An escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
No! I'll sacrifice my life for the bucket.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
What if I don't?
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
It's like the infinite one. Okay. Oh my god. No.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
No, I can't see. I can't see. Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous
Mom.
metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest.
Where's my
It was a
bucket?
glorious bucket to behold.
Oh. Where's my bucket? Oh, he died. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like the bucket itself, the human mind is frequently emptied within a carnivorous void. The theories of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. No, I can't read. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you have learned here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind about may it be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Is that the bucket?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
No! Bucket! The bucket! Come back! A bucket with two handles. I forgot the term for this one. This bucket was depicted as having two handles, such as the design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. The bucket's just something without commentary. Oh. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which was in the medieval era, was so powerfully alluring that it brought dozens of nations to war with one another. For control it, billions died, yet in spite of all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. Music. While we know that the bucket predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket has already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having it judged humanity to be worthy of its treasure.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. What if I jump? I got it! I got the bucket.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision for...
Was I actually supposed to restart there?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What if I don't?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Yes,
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Yeah, that's good.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No, I don't want to go back to the fucking green shit. Trust the completionist instincts. When we find them, there will be a reward for finding them all. There's no memo from management.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
No, I don't.
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
No.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
Okay, shut the
Good
fuck
for
up.
you,
I don't
Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
What happened when I went to the... Oh, I can't anymore. Well, that one is the hallucinating thing.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these
And
things.
looks
What
like
about
doors.
mini stands? Stanley things. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Wow. Business. No. Oh, no. You know what I'll do? So, I don't know what's happening. Oh, what if I put the this one here? My on the bucket. No, right here beside me. No. This is a really long elevator. To be honest, no one can have this. Nobody has really seen like the full body of my model. I haven't seen the full like rigging for this one. Like I know what the leg does, to be honest.
Nothing went mellotron.
You can hear the narrator singing in the background. That's cute. Places, everyone, places. You little shit, come here, come here, come here. We've gone nowhere. Okay, that was fucking interesting. Anyways.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Yay.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, now, alright, going there.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Give me a second right then. Oh, okay, I'm fine. Alright.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Oh shit. Oh, alright.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
What if I turned it on instead, not off?
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds.
Silly bird.
The control buttons became active again.
Bird. Penguin.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Oh, it's you, Hades.
The mind
Look.
controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
Owls.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds
funny
imaginable.
Stanley game. Yeah,
Of all
it was
the possible
Stanley
paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Can I go back now? What? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm not taking the bucket, man. Fuck the bucket. Fuck his ass.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
Yeah.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not
I
your
love how
enemy,
the
really,
port
I'm
into
not.
Unity.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
That's the...
There's someone you've been
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I found the other one.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly.
No.
Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try.
Oh.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
So the last time I went in here, I got stuck for some reason. $99 and 98.9% reward. Wow, haha. Okay.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Oh no. Oh no.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I have to be here from the... I should, you know what, give me a second. Anyway, this is going to take me 4 fucking hours. I don't know if there's an alternative for doing it. There is, I think. Actually, what if I...
You heartless bastard. Did
I'll
you
do
do
that
it because
next
you
time.
hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, okay. Let's play another game, I guess. Wow.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
Oh,
What's our
no.
backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower. Perhaps for some
Creep
sort
tower.
of twisted erotic
Ah,
purpose.
Firewatch.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
The fucking door sound is just like Minecraft's like door. Ah, okay, now I think I kind of do know what this is. Oh, I'll go on the other. Yeah, I was about to say. It sounds like a fucking Minecraft door opening.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
I mean, it can't be.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Oh!
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're
He's
out of the woods now, Stanley.
gatekeeping.
Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's
Please,
find
let
another
me
game.
out.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Okay. I guess Firewatch isn't for
I
narrator.
think this will be just the thing.
Alright. Rocket League!
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Sucker. Sucker.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's
Football.
sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, thank you so much for the... Oh, shit. Thank you so much for the follow, Belsarian. Fun. I really want to play Rocket League, to be honest. I think Rocket League
Are you doing
is
it?
fun.
Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one
Yes.
ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really
Oh,
does
let's
feel
see.
amazing,
Hey.
doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I
Go down the
simply
hall,
have
okay, I'll
to
go
have
down the
more.
hall.
I'm
You know what? Let
insatiable.
me...
More balls.
Oh! Ah! Why so many balls? Come on. Okay, let's go.
Hold on. What are you
you doing?
Whoa.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you.
Sorry.
How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Ah! We shall bully him? Alright, we'll bully him, I guess. Oh, ew. Yeah. Hey. I went here. This is the old Stanley Parable. I think so. Yeah, I see.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
He's like William Afton. He always say, he always does that shit.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I'll go to the cargo lift later. Let me get this fucking collectible first.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the first number will equal the second number. And that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anarines. None of us can.
No, okay. Ah! Where the fuck am I? Oh. Babu! Hi!
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track.
Babu, can I show you my art later?
The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every
somebody seems to be addicted to fucking the bucket.
No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down.
No.
It doesn't
I can do it
make
with you
sense.
later.
There's no explanation for it. I still
At the same time, I
figured
really
out
want to hang
why
out with
I
you.
see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket.
Oh no.
But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a
No,
target
you're
on my back.
mean.
Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Yeah.
Camerata.
What the fuck? What the heck?
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms.
Wait.
With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No.
Was this... No,
Never mind.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
What if I went back?
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked
No.
straight ahead to the opposite door.
Bitch. Bye. Bye, narrator. Bye-bye.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
No.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
Why?
The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with
What
it.
if I spend too
Don't
much
you want
time
another
on it? You
story
should have
involving
just
the Adventure
fucking
Line? We
respected
could make the
Lane.
Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Why would you respect my bucket? Me and
Look
my
at that wacky
bucket.
line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
What? No, please don't take my bucket away from me.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No, we don't need
That's
to
why
get rid
I'm
of
very
the
proud to
bucket.
introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No, please.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
It destroys
Surely
my
you don't need me to
bucket.
spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket.
No.
And then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking bitch.
Now listen to me.
It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the bucket destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of bucket destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the bucket destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry.
I'm sorry,
and read it.
Milbot,
We
I'm
can't
sorry.
get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh, it's the bucket destroyer right there. Give it a
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend.
No, he's not
For the
new friend. He
moment in
tried to
time
kill
that
my
you were here,
friend.
You were magnificent.
Fuck you, bro. Suck my dick, bro. Actually, no, don't suck my dick. My dick will be done. Oh, okay. That was another ending. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
He's
to his
so
chest
jealous.
and entered
Oh
the
my
door on his left.
god.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No, I won't
Coming
give
to
it the
a
bucket.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wait, what happens if I do it again? The last one!
And there it is. The last
Stiggly
Wiggly.
Wiggly.
Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for
Fuck,
figurines.
I forgot my thing, by the way. Did I just... Did I just actually forget how I did this?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
and now he felt himself floating off the ground. "Oh, gracious," he exclaimed. "Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it." Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I got muted, by the way, so... Alright. I think I'm gonna end stream here. Well, yeah, alright. Who's streaming right now? Let me check. Thousand. Then you disappeared right now, haven't you, huh? Yes, I guess it's that much that you wouldn't talk to me anymore. I've been lurking. Oh, doesn't mean that you hate me. Anyways, okay. Let me fucking read someone. Leak. Okay. Okay. Let me close my fucking cause earlier I was watching like fucking like I was watching this again like Vox's stream earlier, so I was like, so I forgot to stream. Oh, shit. What have we here? Shit, an extra or something? What the fuck?
I get distracted by chat as well, that is true. But also, it's still more fun than just, you know, hanging out alone. In the emptiness, in the nothingness.
yeah, I think we're gonna read you now.
He's doing the shotgun reload, but first. Okay, I go restart my stream just so you can fart again. I'm kidding, I know.
Okay, let's read
Seller
her.
ship.
She's really
ship.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, please.
If you guys are so creative, can we come up
go support
with
her.
the name
She's
for
really
you all?
lovely. She's a really lovely.
For like the whole audience.
She's a really lovely person. I swear to God, I love her so much. I wanna collab with her one day. I'm too shy to do so, but I might ask somebody to help me. Somebody to help me with that. So yeah. I guess this is it. Oh my God, I was fucking 12 people. Oh shit, you jelly ma, shut the fuck up. Anyways. We're gonna end it here. It's been fun, really. We have like a lot of fucking shit that we have done in what do we call this? Stanley Parable. Really, there was a lot to do. So maybe next time. Tomorrow we'll be doing FNAF SB, FNAF Security Breach. Tomorrow we're gonna continue with that. But anyways, my time is running out. So thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you all tomorrow. Otsunini, everyone. Bye bye.